Welcome everyone. I really hope you enjoy this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks and have a fantastic day.
Hey folks, we're back, and this is an update on the tail gear, basically modification or retrofit or upgrade or whatever you want to call it on my Emmaselle 2, which is a 188-inch wingspan airplane I designed. But as you can see, this is a complete cluster here of me just keep adding crap to it. And I was tired of this and decided I've got to redesign something from scratch. So what I did was I went into Fusion 360 and wanted to create a mold I could 3D print out of ABS. Now, quite frankly, I had no idea if this was going to work, but CEF is coming up and the flying season's coming up, and I needed to get something made. So essentially what I was going to do is just lay up carbon fiber in this using the West System epoxy. And I've made a lot of struts in my life, but normally I'll take the time to build a really nice mold and, build a plug, then build the mold. But I've always wanted to try to do a carbon fiber strut this way, and or a leaf spring or a leaf suspension or whatever you want to call it. But I wasn't really sure if this would work at all, folks. I mean, I knew technically it should, but I had no idea. So this is the 3D printed pieces laid out. And, when I looked at this, excuse me, I was really nervous that this would not work. It was so rough, and, I knew I was going to have to use PVA on it for a mold release, but I just had no idea if it was going to work. So basically what I did is, this is what my station looked like right before I started. Unfortunately, I didn't record me laying any of it up because I had epoxy all over my hands. I had it everywhere. Now, of course, I wore gloves, but this was just a mess to make. I mean, this was the biggest mess I've made in a long time, folks, because I normally am OCD. I want everything to be kind of kept clean and tidy and neat, and cutting the carbon fiber up was a complete pain in the butt. So I took, my carbon fiber and basically started cutting it into about 1 1/8 inches or 1 1/4 inches strips. And keep in mind, it is going to fall apart on you some, but you got to be really, really careful. You're going to throw your scissors away when you're done because carbon fiber really does wear out scissors. Okay, so make sure you're using a new pair of scissors, but no, you're going to throw them away. Walmart scissors are fine. So this is actually where I started kind of messing around with marking out the carbon fiber and knowing how I was going to assemble all of this. Okay. Like I'm saying, folks, I was trying to do this just really short and sweet. I had no idea if it'd work. So I put like 10 coats of PVA on using my air gun. And you want to mist it the first couple of times so that it doesn't kind of like, bubble up on you or starts to separate, or, you want the PVA to be glass smooth. And then I finally started assembling this and put another coat of PVA on, hoping that it would be kind of sealing some of the edges inside the mold itself. And, I didn't spend a ton of time on this, but I was already getting a little depressed thinking, God, if this doesn't work, I got to go to all the way back to ground zero. So this is what it looked like, completely laid up. All the carbon fiber was shoved in there. Then I put on the front, then I put on the top, and I screwed it all down, watched all the resin squirt out of it, and I had no idea. The next day, believe it or not, the mold popped right off it really nice. Now, this looks like crap, folks, but I was so excited because there wasn't any big air bubbles or voids or anything in this thing. And I know that looks like hell, but once I start to trim this and clean this up, I think it will blow your mind. So ultimately, folks, you just got to ride it through. So once I cleaned it up, that's what my strut looks like. And I was like, holy crap, this thing's going to work. And I was super excited. I mean, I don't know what to say, folks. And maybe I've done this stuff enough that I should have given myself a little bit more credit. But I was really super excited. So this is what the new carbon fiber strut looked like, just raw on the airplane. And I was just, I should have done this in the very beginning, folks. It just come together so good. And I don't know how to say it any other way that it worked out perfect. So then I started taking some clear polyurethane and spraying it on there real thin coats. Ended up with about 8 or 10 coats on it. And you just got to take your time, but always pre-drill all your holes before you do the final finish. And, you know, I probably could have sanded this and buffed it a little bit more and made it look like a professional piece of carbon fiber. It's just a tail strut for my Emmaselle 2, folks. I just wanted it to look, you know, and I wanted it to function more than I want it to look good. Okay. But I'm just totally thrilled with how it turned out. And when it was finally put on the airplane, it was looking sexy. And that's it finished, folks. Believe it or not, it's kick-ass. Now, some people ask me why I got that big old angle on it. It's so I never impact the rudder there. I've hit the rudder quite a few times and had to replace the bottom of that rudder a little bit. So rock on. See you next time. Have an awesome day and be safe.